Hey everybody, it's podcast day, my Thursdays. Don't just ignore this. Ignore all of this. Like this should be what is live today. A piece of paper because I am fighting corona, influenza, the common cold. I'm fighting something. Probably a common cold. Although I did have a fever last night, so whatever. But the show must go on. And today I thought, I'm gonna record my podcast live, but over I'm gonna see how this works. I'm gonna record it like I normally do. So you guys will hear the mess ups, you'll hear the bloopers. You can ask questions along the way and I'll like pause my recording. But this is how I do my podcast. So I have notes, a lot of notes here. And today I'm going to talk about, are you a health writer or a medical writer, and distinguish the difference because I feel like a lot of people um, don't know the difference. And they, I mean, as I say, like a lot of people, I think a lot of writers, we don't know the difference as we're starting off in our businesses, but you learn along the way. Um, Welcome, Kelly. Welcome, other people that are on here right now. Um, write in my Write in my little comments. I'll watch you guys as I go along. I probably won't say too much because I'm recording, but this is how it works. If you guys ever have been on a podcast, I don't know if it's this laid back, but I make it pretty laid back. So here we go. Here's how I started. Well, hold on. I gotta write my little topic here, and I'm gonna sound exactly like this on air because I'm sick. But you know what? I don't have to call off work. I could just go take a nap in a little while. That's a plus from working from home. Okay, here we go. Here's how I start it. Welcome, Savvy Scribes, to another episode of the Savvy Scribe podcast. Today, I'm talking all about, are you a health writer or a medical writer? And if you guys aren't in our Facebook group, we are the Savvy Scribes over at the Savvy Scribe Collective. And right now, I am live in our group because I thought I would do a little behind the scenes of what it's like to record a podcast. So, welcome to everybody who's live on the group today, and welcome to all of you that are listening in your little headphones or wherever you're listening today. So, today I'm talking all about, are you a health writer or a medical writer? And what I'm going to do today is break it down for you guys because it can be very confusing. There's two different types. There's health writers and there's medical writers. And those of you that are live right now, tell me, what are you? Are you a health writer or a medical writer? Or maybe you don't know yet, and that's where I come in today. So, first things first, I am Janine Kelbeck, and I am a health writer. I am not a medical writer by any means. Can I do medical writing? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. And I'll talk to you guys about what little bit of medical writing I have done. So, first, I want you guys to think about yourselves. So think about, do you want to produce medical articles that are helping healthcare consumers? Do you want to write, sales pages, materials for hospitals, clinics, website copy for them? Do you want to write for publications or pharmaceutical companies, or is that like way above you, or you're like, I don't even know where to start? This is why I'm making this podcast. Actually, it came from one of our group members that were asking, like, Janine, I thought you were a medical writer. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm not. But this is why. So, welcome to those that are listening and trying to figure out who they are or what they want to do. Um, so, those of you that are live, this is going to be edited because this is me actually recording my podcast. So, I'm looking at my notes here. I always go off a script a little bit, or I'll just keep talking and talking. So, welcome everybody, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you have no clue what you are, Michelle. Hopefully, I can clarify it for you today. Maybe at the end of this episode, you'll understand what you are. Maybe not. We'll see. So, first, let's dive into what a medical writer does and what a health writer does. So first I'm going to start with what a medical writer does. So medical writers have are going to need a little more knowledge and a little more training than the typical health writer. So they often write for companies, professionals, and they need a lot of science background. They learn how to interpret like medical research journals, papers. They like to read clinical trials and they design the clinical trials, the regulatory documents. They report results, and they're the ones that are often used for pharmaceutical companies. They're often used in literature. If you're doing like a study design, they're the ones that write up that design, they write up that article. Um, and again, I am not a medical writer, but I have done some medical writing. And there's various types of medical writing. There's also medical journalists that work for newspapers or medical newspapers. They write towards the audience of researchers and healthcare professionals. So this isn't like the general, you know, publication that goes out to the lay public, you know, that you wrote for the hospital or something like that. These are those big writing research journals, maybe for your even like a publication for like ACOG, which would be like our medical side of OBGYN. So, various types of medical writing. I need water, hold on. What do you guys think so far? Is anybody here a medical writer? Write in the comments for me. If you are a medical writer, put those hands up because I don't see anybody as a medical writer. Oh wait, that's because I haven't scrolled down. Okay, health writers. Most people are health writers. And I think a lot of us are. But let me go on here. Because if you're looking to be very, very lucrative, that medical side is something you guys might want to think about. But let me go on here because that does not mean you aren't going to be lucrative in your health writing side. I am. Um, okay, so various types of medical writing. We talked about the medical journalists. So these are the people that are writing in newspapers and um, medical magazines that are going towards the health person, the professional, the researchers, stuff like that. Now, this is where I've done a little bit of medical writing, and that's in medical education. So I've done continuing ed for nurses mostly. I haven't done it for physicians, but you could. But likely those companies are looking for physicians to write physician material. Um, though patient education material, I've also written courses for them as well, and that still falls under that umbrella of medical education. We talked about regulatory documents. So, like, how boring does this sound? Like, this is like when you open something at work, like a QC dropper for, you know, like the glucose machine that we have to QC as nurses. The little pamphlet in there, a medical writer did. Any piece of equipment at work that you've had to learn about, a medical writer has had to write that up. Write up like all the stuff in there. And people thrive on this, you guys. Janine Kelbach does not, but people do. People love writing this stuff. And there's lots of money in it, I think, because nobody wants to write it. um, the other thing that regulatory documents are study reports from clinical trials and stuff. I have not done that, but when it comes to research documents, which is another type of medical writing, I've done the protocols. I've written some protocol for clinical trials and reviewed it. Um, Study reports, research proposals, informed consent documents. This stuff, like, I know I'm like boring the heck out of that are not medical writers, but this is what medical writers do. They do a lot of that kind of stuff. Publication, presentations, the manuscripts for presentations at conferences and stuff, that's also something that medical writers do. Um, Abstracts and posters, presentations for scientific meetings, and hold on one second. Yeah. Abstracts for, you know, different presentations and different science articles that you've read, or if you're a health writer that have, you know, you've had to find research for your health article that you're writing and you read those abstracts, That's a medical writer writing those abstracts. Usually, the people that are doing the research aren't necessarily writing up the research. So, that's a medical writer. What else do medical writers do? They do marketing. So, they do different promotional things targeting healthcare professionals, brochures, and handouts. A lot of medical writers write. Though, again, I've written handouts, but I feel like it's more towards patients, so that's more of a health writer. See how they kind of overlap a little bit? That's knows what they really are. I'm a little bit of everything, I guess. Not everything. Not everything. Um, so, let me go through my stuff here. So, health writer. Let's go on the health writing side. So, health writers, they do a lot of the writing for websites, a lot of website articles, not website copy. Meaning, what's copy? Let me just define that a little bit for you guys. Copy is what you're seeing on a website that talks about what that website does, who's part of that team, and really like explaining what the web like that homepage, what the person's there for, what they're going to get out of that website. So the copy usually is on the medical side. But health writers can write that as well. Just depends. Health writers do a lot of social media copy. They'll do the write up for social media. They do a lot of direct sales copy, um, patient information, product information, but not that stuff on the inside, the whole brochure. Usually for a piece of equipment, they are not writing. News for the general public, like say there was more information about Donald Trump's stuff last night about the coronavirus. Some health writers writing that up today. Feature articles for the general public. That's also something health writers do. Website content, as in like articles for websites, blogs. I'm trying to think what else. Usually, health writers are the ones writing towards the patient side. So, that being said, what are you? What do you think you are? I'm a health writer that has a little bit of background on medical writing. Now, I do want to promote those that would like to get involved in medical writing. Let me find the website. Emma Nichols is her name. She hosts Nascent Medical is her website, and she has a weekly newsletter called the Hit List. But this is like high end stuff, you guys. What they do in the Hit List, they even have um, jobs. You could actually go to a speaking event, and you are like the journalist. You're writing down. You're doing interviews and stuff like that. This is the website. And she offers a course. I'm trying to find the course here. Bear with me. So it's a freelance medical writing course. Check out more on the course. Oh, there it is. Okay. So in her course, they do prerequisite skills in the first steps, setting up shop, writing medical news, writing for continuing education, feature article writing, running your own freelance medical writing business, and then there's bonus content. So she's not, I mean, like I'm not an affiliate. I've never taken her course, but I've interviewed people that have, and they really enjoyed it. So like I'm not getting paid to promote her or anything like that. I just think she's really good at what she does, and she's been in the industry for a long time. So if you're interested in going into the medical side of things, 6weekcourse.com/about course is her website, and it's Nascent Medical. So those of you who are on the podcast, I'm going to put that in our show notes so you have it. Those of you in the podcast podcast or in the Savvy Scribe Collective group. If you want to take that, that's a good course to take if you're in the medical side. So that is how to know if you are a health writer or a medical writer. Any questions anybody has? Jennifer, are you saying to be a medical writer, you need a minimum a master's degree in science, or to take her course? It may be to take her course. Because I think there is another course out there too. Hold on. There's this course too, Health Writer Hub. Again, I have not taken this course. I also don't know anyone who took it necessarily. I've never really asked. But this course kind of walks you through everything too. So let me give you guys this link as well. And again, I'll put this into, I mean, you guys will see this is, oh, it's coming up. March 23rd is the next course if you guys are interested. I think she's out of Australia, but whatever, it's the same idea. It is like $400, but that's okay if you guys are really interested. So yeah, so what Jennifer was saying is to be a medical writer, you should have a master's degree. I feel like you do need more knowledge than the typical health writer. Um, I do agree with you there. I should have added that into my content. See, that's why I'm doing this live today. I'm going to learn from you guys. Roll up, Lorelai. All right, I'm going to stop my podcast so I could just talk to you guys. Some editing to do there. That's okay. All right, cool. So that episode will not be live for a while, but it's recorded. Should I do another episode while I'm on with you guys? Hold on one second. I left my notes out there. Hold on. All right, guys. Type in the comments. Angie, for RNs, really, my course is the only one I've seen out there for nurses. Um, Otherwise, those two are the other ones that I've seen for health writers. It's really a very small group of us out there that are do. Oh, Elizabeth Haynes. She doesn't have a course, but she started out. Let me find hers. Hold on. Hold on one second. She has her like newsletter, and she has. Hold on, something else. She has something else. I don't think she's doing like coaching, but she's giving out like, see, this is all towards her. Sorry, hold on. Da, 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 da. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to find you the link, the best link to her newsletter and stuff. Okay, she has like a newsletter that's always really helpful as well. Um, and you could subscribe. There's like different plans she has. So let me put that in there. So really, of course I'm going to direct you my course. I think it's good. I need to get started and need to develop writing samples for portfolio. Yep, the course will help you with that. Yeah, here's Elizabeth's link, guys. Okay, and because I'm on my batching day. I gotta take advantage of this. I have 2 episodes that I'm going to record. Which one do you guys want? Or I have 3 actually. Office organization, how to write faster, or how to launch when you're working full time. What should I record right now? I'll give you guys a minute to respond. Those choices again are office organization, how to write faster, or how to launch when you're working full time. Jennifer, take my course, it'll help you. LinkedIn is my number 1 place for clients. Yes, and then the other book I recommend is my friend Laura, Laura Briggs. She has a cool book out there too. If you guys aren't in her group, she's going to be on the podcast soon. Advanced Freelancing. Let me find her group too. Is a great group to join. It's not medical, but it's still good. And she's putting out another book soon too. Advanced Freelancing. Oh, where the heck is it? Hold on. Where's your group? She's so cool too. I love talking with her. Um, hold on. Where the heck is it? It's probably not the name of the group. It's probably what I screwed up here. I'm posting it all the time and I can't think of the name now. Or unless I just didn't find it. Hold on. It's probably my cold medicine brain right now. That's why I'm not doing any client work today. Uh, 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 uh. Why am I in so many groups on Facebook? That is the real question. I go in like four of them. I need to like get out of these. I can't find it right now. I'll have to get you guys the link. What if I just search Laura's name? So if you guys search for Laura, like on Advanced Reader Team, she has a book. Actually, I got it in the local library. It's called Start Your Own Freelance Writing Business: The Complete Guide from Starting and Scaling from Scratch. So if you're more of a book person, she has a great book. If you're more of a course person, my course kind of goes with that, but with healthcare a little bit. Not just like freelance, but just like healthcare freelance. She also offers coaching as well. You know, let me just. She has a podcast too, which is really awesome to listen to. So here, I'll just give you guys this link. All right. So everybody said third option. What did I say? How to launch when you're working full time. I think is the winner. Launch part time. Right. Right. Okay, so let's talk about how to launch when you're working full time. All right, let me get my little podcast thing set up here. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Savvy Scribes, to another episode of the Savvy Scribe podcast. Today I'm talking all about how to launch when you're working full time. And I understand what that's like. I was working full time and more, and had a PRN job and a newborn baby when I was starting my freelance career. So today is talking about things like how to find the time, what to do before you even launch the business. If you don't know me and you haven't been on any of my live trainings, I always start with my timeline, and in that timeline I talk about, what I did at the beginning. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this, meaning writing on the side and making money, until I started actually making money, because I felt like a fraud. I felt like how could I make money doing this? I thought nursing was just at the bedside, and how could I possibly give my knowledge and make money for it? So, before you launch, I'm just going to dive right in. Before you launch anything, you need to have a plan. And in that plan, you need to discuss with yourself, hey, self, what am I going to do? Am I starting with clients? Am I starting a blog? Do I just want to be known as a thought leader? What do I want to do? What do I want to make out of this? Is this going to be a end job for you? Is this going to take you to the next level in your own home business? Are you trying to do this full time? Or is this just for fun? Maybe you just want to be a blogger. Whatever it is, you need to have some samples. You need to. Well, hold on. I'm like going really slow for some reason. Ah. Okay. You guys with me? I don't know what happened to my internet for a second. Probably it's disgusting outside and blowing all over the place. Okay, so I don't know where I ended, but that's okay. That's why there's editing available on my podcast. Okay, so basically, you have to have a plan. So when we start off, you need some samples. And starting with samples can be tough if you don't have an idea of where you're going. So I always tell everybody you have to know where you're going. You have to have a niche, you have to have something that you want to be known for. So my niche is like OB nursing, um, women's health, and stuff like that. My other niche is helping you guys. So if I was just launching this today, nobody would think I was serious. Nobody would take any of my advice because I haven't been known out there for a little while. Now I've coached, hundreds of freelancers to be able to do their own business and launch their own business. So I have a little bit of credibility in the industry. I have a little bit of credibility from testimonials. I have a little bit of credibility that I've been able to do this for myself. It started with myself though. I had to start growing my own business, and then because at the beginning my goal wasn't to do this and teach other nurses. My goal was to build my own business, right? I wanted to get out of burnout mode, get out of the inner city of Cleveland when I was doing my home care job. So you guys, same thing, because I feel like why not? Why not be able to help other people not do the research that I had to do and go down that Google path and Google how to do this. And there's not a lot of people base of health writing that are helping other people. So that's where my goal was. So before you start to launch, I would recommend about 5 to 6 samples. So how do you get some samples? Well, see what you've already done. So if you've already written stuff for people, awesome. If you haven't, you can start guest blogging for people. Start getting your name out there. And the way you could do that is on LinkedIn Publisher. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you can easily go on their publishing sector. So you can go update. It says like when you start to do an update, it says write an article. Write an article and publish it. That starts to get you known a little bit. That's a little bit of publishing, a little bit of portfolio setup. The other thing you want to set up for your writing business is your social profiles. So LinkedIn is the first one. Then you have to find out where your audience is. I don't want you all over the place. I don't want you on Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and all the things. You're on Facebook with me now. If you're in our group on the Savvy Scribe, you're already here. So you have a Facebook. But that doesn't mean you can't have a business profile on Facebook if that's where your audience is. If you are a health writer, your audience is likely not on Facebook. Even though a lot of Facebook, our audience usually is not there. Our audience is usually on LinkedIn. A lot of people I notice are using Instagram a lot too, but again, once you learn a social media platform, there's an algorithm for all of them. So if you're going to choose to get one, you have to learn the algorithm behind it to be successful on it. So my recommendation before you launch is to have a LinkedIn profile and maybe a Twitter. I don't like Twitter, but a lot of people do, and there is a lot of clientele out there for health writers to write for. I just don't like Twitter. I have a Twitter. I post on Twitter. I just don't like it. And that's just me. So, love Twitter. Go with Twitter. Another thing, let me get water. To start launching when you're working full time. Again, these are in the background. Like, how are you going to do this? We're going to get there. We're going to get to the time thing. But your niche, you have to know your niche. Again, we talked about that. Know where you specialize. Know where you glow. Your superpower. What are you awesome at? And engage. Whether that is on Facebook groups, which you can still use Facebook, you guys. I'm not saying don't use Facebook at all, but if you're starting to know your industry and where you're an expert at, you can get a Facebook group. So for example, I'm in a lot of OB Facebook groups and a lot of mom Facebook groups. I write a lot of parenting content too. So I'll go in a Facebook group and say it's something on parenting. I just wrote an article about what did I write on? A parenting magazine in our area, and it was like how to help your toddler sleep on vacation or something like that. So if there's somebody saying like I'm nervous to go on vacation with my toddler because they're in such a sleep routine, I would link them to the article that I wrote. Hey, I'm Janine. Good luck with that. Here's something I wrote recently. Maybe it can help you. So then that person now knows that I'm in the industry, that I write and things like that. So again, wherever your people are is where you have to figure out where your people are, where your content people are, for you to be able to promote your content a little bit. But again, this is engaging with your audience, engaging with followers and stuff like that. You do not, and I'll repeat this again, you do not need a website to make yourself profitable. I would not invest in that right now, especially when you launch, because you don't have to. If you need portfolio assistance, you can go on Contently, where I host my um, portfolio. So Contently is a great place to put your samples and an easy thing to just direct when you're pitching and you're trying to land a client. You do not, again, need a website. You don't need to spend the money right now. But get your social stuff under control. Put it in your email signature so people can find you and connect with you. The next thing is your mindset. And I know this is like a big word out there right now, mindset, 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 because we hear it everywhere. We hear it in our nursing thing. Everybody says, oh, you got to have a good mindset to be a good nurse. And, you know, you have to de-stress and get in the mindset of like relaxing and things like that. But the mindset of growing your own business is a mindset that I did not start using until I realized that is what was holding me back. Your mindset. And I'll tell you, until you start thinking of your business as your business, not as your side job or your something to do on the side or your hobby. This is a business, you guys, and you are growing it. You have to be in the mindset of growing a business to be able to grow a business. The way you can do that is to tell yourself that it is a business you are growing. Every day when you get up, you are making business goals and business things to do because you are growing a business. You aren't profitable yet because you haven't launched, but you have to get in the mindset of getting ready to launch and be able to put yourself out there. So the other thing is to get some support. So whoever's in your life that can give you support, you need to find that person. Mine's my husband, my kids, and like my dad. My dad's like really supportive. He was my off-scale editor for a while when I started because my husband's not a good writer and my dad is, so I would send some articles to him that I was nervous to submit because I wanted just another set of eyes on it. And I'm like, Dad, I'll pay you. He's like, no, you won't. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll like take you to lunch. He goes, take me to lunch when this gets published. Okay. So that was like how we did it. So find that person. It could be somebody in this group. You guys, we have over 300 people in this group now. Yay. Find somebody, say, hey, will you be my accountability person? I need some accountability. Message each other back and forth. So there's a really awesome app and it's free called Voxer. And I used it at the beginning of my writing business. And me and Vicky would go back and forth. Hey, what are you doing for your business today? Hey, what are you doing for your business? My husband was not my accountability person at the beginning. Well, he's still not because he's my husband and he's there for everything else. He doesn't even get that I'm running my own business. Like, he doesn't get it. So you have to find somebody that gets it and that will help you along the way. And this is where I'm jumping into setting aside time. I know you don't have it. I don't have it. We don't have it, you guys. I didn't have it at the beginning. I had a baby. I had a 7-year-old. I don't know where I found the time, but if you find the time, you will use the time. And let me explain it. So, look at your day. Okay, you're working 7 to 7. Are you going to find time that day? Probably not after your shift. You're exhausted. You probably come home and you want to just die on the couch. You want to just eat everything that's in sight and lay down and go to sleep, right? Raise your hand. I know you're out there. We come home from work. We are exhausted. Our feet hurt. Our bodies hurt. All we want to do is take a shower and go to bed. Sometimes shower, sometimes just go to bed. And you do have the time, let me tell you. You have to make the time. Start tomorrow. Set your alarm 20 minutes earlier and get up. Get your butt out of bed, make a cup of coffee, and think, what am I going to do today for my business? Think about it. Is it your weekend off? If it is, awesome. Congratulations, you got a weekend off. That doesn't mean you're sleeping in this weekend, my friend. I want you to set your alarm for the time you get up for work and get up and do something for your business, whatever that is. Are you making your social media account? Are you making another sample that you could put in so people can hire you? Are you sending out some pitches? Are you taking my course and doing the next lesson in it? You do have the time. You have to start taking charge of your time. Whether that means you have time in your day, you guys. If you have your day off and today's the day you're doing laundry and you're going to the grocery store and you're picking your kids up for school and you're being the mystery reader at your kids' school and all the things, bet you still have time in there. You have time to jump in this Facebook group today. I'm not saying don't jump in the Facebook group. I think it's a great thing for your business to push you forward. If you're tuning into the podcast episode today, you had time to do that. Did you have time to go read a book? Maybe not. Did you have time to make dinner? Maybe not. But did you have time to waste time on Facebook, like scrolling? Do you have time in the evening to watch TV? TV can take up a lot of time. If you're really into some episode on Netflix, you're wasting time. Time you could put towards your business. And until you find time in your day that you can really focus on your business, you're not going to get further in your business. That's the gist of it. So, start setting yourself an ideal work week. Look at your time next week. So, I'm recording this episode on a Thursday. I always do my planning on a Friday. Some people do it on Sundays. Whatever you got to do. I'm going to do mine on Friday this week because I work all weekend. But sometimes I don't do it till Sunday, depending on my weekends I work. But look at your week next week. See where you can stick in time every single day for your business. And I promise you, it will pay off. That's it for this week for the Savvy Scribe podcast episode. Thank you all for joining me, and come on over to our Facebook group. We are always helpful, and we'll see you there. Go get your write on. All right, that was me batching for that episode. So, did you guys get anything out of it? I hope you did. Um, oh, I love that your dad is also a cheerleader too. My dad like loves it. It's so funny. Good. All right, well, I've been live about 42 minutes and 42 seconds now. Did I record one more episode? Let's see. Those of you who are still sticking with me, gosh, thanks. Let's see. I think I could do one more episode. Uh. How to write faster or office organization? Which one should I do? Go for it. What should I do? Sorry, should I do office organization or how to write faster? Next time I go live, I'm gonna not be sick and I'm gonna put makeup on and actually do my hair. You guys aren't even gonna know who I am. Probably not. I probably won't do that, but I still do. Write faster? Alright. Alright. Let's do writing faster. I don't know, Michelle needs some office organization. Alright, I'm gonna do both. We're gonna do how to write faster, and then I'm gonna back it up with office organization. Hey, look at this. You guys don't even have to listen to the podcast in the next few months because you're getting all the episodes today. All right, let's do this one, and I'll take a little break to go pee. Because, I'm a nurse, I could say go pee. And you guys are like, yeah, we get it. I'm going to go void. All right, so let me get rid of this episode. Not get rid of it, save it, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so congested. I can't stand this. I hate being sick. I see. I went to bed last night at 7:30. Today I'm on a 600 Motrin and Dayquil. That's the only reason I'm pushing through this. So I am not using my brain that much today. I already have like all these outlines and stuff. I have a lot of writing to do for some clients, and I'm like, I can't do it today. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow if I feel good, or next week because I'm like, ugh, I have to work all weekend, and it'll be good though. Just gotta push through, right? All right, come on, computer, save this episode. Jeez, I should have gone in the bathroom while this is going. Maybe I will. Give me a minute. I'll be back. I'm making coffee. I thought I'd make some coffee before this next episode here. Oh, go eat. Eating's good. Yeah, that's what I feel like I have, like a sinus headache with coronavirus. Something, I don't know. H1N1, bird flu, Ebola, Zika. I got it all. That's how I feel today. Alright. So my husband made fun of me because I have a cookie maker in my office. I have like a little cookie. It was like $20 on buy sell trade. So I was like, I buyed it because well, I have to show you guys. I'm gonna lift up my little laptop here. I have. It's gonna make coffee in a minute. I have a like blue printer and my little Keurig. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? He's like, really? You need a Keurig and a coffee pot like 3 steps away? Yeah, yeah, actually I do. No, I don't need it. I wanted it. Yeah, Megan, the my son has. Think I'm not coughing, but like 2 days ago I woke up and I couldn't swallow. I was like, what the heck? So I took Claritin, Dayquil, Motrin. I'm like, oh, something, something's gonna work, right? Something's gotta work. I don't feel terrible right now, but I'm really congested, as you can tell. All right, so those of you who came in, I'm recording podcasts as I'm live. It was totally spontaneous. There was no plan in this today, or I might look a little less homeless. But whatever. As I brew my coffee, I'll give you guys another tour. So here's my office. Hold on, it's like mirrored, right? So this is my big board, my big dry erase calendar. Um, as you see, it's only filled up to March. But I just bought new dry erase markers I got to use that are really fine tip. That's what I need. Here's my coffee. That's brewing. Another little board I have. Let's see, what else? A little kid thing, I don't know. That picture up that's like drawn, my son drew. He said that's me. The girl's really, really pretty. I said, oh, thanks, honey. Let's see what else is around this way. That baby that I'm holding up there, my patient had an amniotic fluid embolism. She lived, and I got to hold her baby in a picture, and she got that for me. That's our house. The builder drew a picture of, and then some other pictures of family. We thought that was cool because I have Great Danes, so we bought that for like $5. There's the window that I look out of. Um, it's beautiful, isn't it? Stupid snow. And yeah, other stuff. So there's a little tour of my office. Oh, and then the actual computer. I hook it up to the monitor when I need to like work, but in my MacBook otherwise. That's what I'm on now. All right, let me grab a coffee. We'll start here. All right. See, that's why. Look, I'm still on my headset. Adam thinks I don't need a coffee pot right by my office. Yes, I do. All right. If you guys ever listen to the podcast, and that's my husband, the intro. I need to have him re-record it since Carol's not with us anymore for the podcast, but we haven't yet. All right. So we are talking about how to write faster. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Welcome, Savvy Scribes, to another episode of the Savvy Scribe podcast. Today, it was voted in the Facebook group that we are going to talk about how to write faster. And this is like my process. Doesn't mean it's the right process. I just know that I'm told by people that I'm able to produce content quickly. And so I thought, well, I might as well share what I do, right? So let's dive right into it. So first, when it comes to writing faster, is you can't do everything before the writing. Like you have to just call writing its own thing. So starting with how to write faster, I will talk to you guys about how to do things faster first. So first, you have to do the background of writing, which is research. So whatever you're writing, you have to research about it first, and that's what I do. I have my days of research, and I research everything. Usually my clients are pretty good because I tell them that I still work in the hospital, so they are pretty good on giving me longer deadlines. That gives me time. So for example, right now I have 3 things that I need to research. So one client, I have to research about obesity in nursing and how it affects our patients. Another client, I have to write about mental health in nursing. And the other client, I have to write about going from RN to BSN, and there's like 3 objectives that we're doing in like a course. So there's 3 things that I need to research. What I do with that, I'm a big paper person and highlighter person, like a very tactile when it comes to my research. So I can't do a lot of it on the computer. So what I'll do is look for a lot of the research, Google away, right? Google, look at different publications, look at different PubMed resources, whatever I have to look at to make creditable research, right? So I start there. Then I take that research, and I'll tell you, don't spend too much time doing the research side because you can really get down a rabbit hole. And I've tried to limit myself to like 2 to 6 sources because I could go on and on and on the research because I actually I'm a little nerdy on the side of I really like to research. So I'll keep going and it gets overwhelming, especially when you have to start the next step of an outline. So really try to limit yourself. Set a timer, do about 30 minutes of research, see what you find. Then I print off that research and then I make up an outline with a working title of all my research. So I look at all the research and I come up with like whatever bullet points I want to come up with, and I try to make mine obviously a little more engaging and a little more detailed than the articles that I took it from. Um, so that's where I go with the outline and the working title. Then it's time to write your first draft, and everybody hates this step because it's the writing portion, right? We like to write as writers, but you hate to start with that blank slate. And that is why you should have some sort of template and some sort of outline. So if you have, I've done a podcast episode about how to structure a blog post, and I recommend you going back to that to try to get a structure going, and then an outline will help you with that structure. So that already takes care of probably 40% of the writing because you have a template to go off of and it's easier than just a regular blank page. So, when it comes to doing your writing, you have to find out what works for you. Are you someone who likes to write in your home office? Are you someone who likes to write outside of your home office? If you don't have a home office, where do you write at home? Do you write in the kitchen? Do you write in your bedroom? Wherever that is. Because I didn't always have an office. I used to have a little corner desk in my bedroom, and I did a lot of writing there. Think about where you like to write. Where are you most inspired? Do you like to sit at the coffee shop with that like background noise of people? Do you like to sit at a local library where it's just quiet? Do you have to leave your house because of the kids or your family or whoever? Or do you have to stay at home because that's where you feel most inspired? Wherever that is where I suggest you go. Are you also a person that likes to sit and write? Or do you like a standing desk? Do you need a standing desk to be able to accommodate your standing needs? No, you can make your own standing desk if you want. I've done it at work plenty of times because on Mondays I do my OB education role at work and I don't like to sit all day because I don't think any nurse likes to sit all day. We're not used to it. So what I do is I take a bunch of books in my office and I'll elevate my desk and I elevate my keyboard, my desk, my monitor and my keyboard so that I can just sit there and stand there and write. So or type whatever I'm doing. So that might be what you like to do, it might not be what you like to do. Whatever that is though, you have to find what it is for you and go with it. So that's your structure for yourself, right? The other thing is what you like to drink or what you like to snack on. I personally love to drink coffee as I'm writing. I don't care if it's 6 o'clock at night that I'm starting that writing, but whatever it is, I like to drink coffee. So be decaf, whatever that is. Sometimes some people are tea drinkers. They like to drink a nice warm cup of tea when they're writing. Some people don't care to drink anything at all, and that's fine. Whatever works for you. This is again just what has worked for me in the past to become a faster writer. I have to be inspired by my background. Also, that being said, I like to diffuse some oils and I also like to play some music and I like to set a timer. So for the oils I like to do, and I'm not like all voodoo-y with it, I do like a nice like fresh awakening scent. So sometimes like an orange and a lemon blended together. I'll throw it in let me show you guys my little thing here. This is not for the podcast, this is only for our group. There's this little thing I got on Amazon. I actually got two of them for like $15 or something. It's a little USB and a little thing. And it's called Spa Room. And it has a little like felt thing in the bottom. That's why it's all like discolored because you put your oils in there. And then you screw it on and you plug it into your USB thing and it just diffuses oils all day. So I do it at work and people love it. Oh my gosh, because my office is right outside our unit. So people walk by all day. They're like, oh yeah, like visitors. I've had the CEO, everybody in the house were like, I love walking by your office, Janine. It always smells so good. And it does. I think it uplifts people. So again, I'm not a voodoo kind of person. I just like the smell. Okay, so then another thing I like is tomato-timer.com. It's a timer, the Pomodoro technique. You guys have probably heard me talk about it before. And you can set the timer, and then at the end, it does a little bell, and you're supposed to get up. You're supposed to take a break, meaning you're supposed to get up and walk around for like 5 minutes. That doesn't mean sit on your phone, check your email. That means get up and move, clear your head a little bit, and then come back again. And you could do like short, whatever works for you. Over time, I figured out my time is actually not 25 minutes, it's about 23 minutes of focus time that I can do. And then I take about a 10-minute break every time instead of 5 minutes. So to each their own, whatever, right? I found what works for me, and that's usually what works for me the best. But I could do longer stints of that. A lot of people, their recommended thing I think is like two of those 5 minutes and then a 10 minute or whatever. You got to find what works for you the best. The other thing is find what time in the day works best for your brain. Mine is early morning. Didn't used to be. I worked many years of night shift, so you have to find what works best for your brain, and nighttime is just not that for me. Have I had to? Yeah. When I was in school for my BSN, I had to write papers at 6 o'clock at night. Hence my coffee drinking obsession at 6 o'clock at night. And I was also able to go to the hospital library at 8 o'clock at night and start like writing tons of papers. So if I can leave my house, I do fine writing. But if I'm at home in my sweatshirt, my yoga pants, snuggled with a blanket, I'm going to fall asleep. I am not going to be intelligent and right at that time. So all of those things together can start my writing process. So you got your outline, you got your template, you got your cup of coffee, you got your ideal workspace, you got your oils, you got your music. I can write now. Does that sound crazy? I don't know. Do you do like a little ritual before you start with all this stuff, or am I the only one out here? Let me drink my coffee and I'll tell you guys how to start writing and little other tips I have. Oh, this cup my friend got me from work. Today's goal to keep the tiny humans alive. She thought it was great for like me being a mom, but no, I work in OB. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be good if like a patient sees that. Like I don't want to just keep their tiny human alive. I mean I do, but I don't know. Sorry, it's at home now. Yes, it gets me in the groove too, Michelle. That's why we're going to talk about keeping your office organized next. Okay, so when it starts when you start to write, obviously you're going to go off of your template, off of your outline. Ignore your internal editor. Seriously, don't worry about spelling errors. Don't worry about spacing, indenting, formatting, grammar, really, at that time. Just ignore it all, you guys. I don't care if you have to cover your screen with a piece of paper. Just write and let your mind just go. You will be surprised how much you can write. I'm serious, just that's how you write faster. You just go. Ignore it, that inner editor of yourself. So, set a timer, use that tomato timer for 25 minutes and go as fast as you can. Let the timer be up. Okay, get up and walk around. Don't look back. Don't look at what you just wrote. Just take a break. Come back. Keep going. Take a break. Come back. Keep going. Okay. So you got everything you wanted to write. Cool. Move on to your next assignment. If you have another assignment, make this just your writing time. And that is it. my friends. It's not a secret. Ignore your editor, blast it out, start with your rituals, and that is how you write faster. Now, moving on, you do have to go back, right? We don't want to submit that junk. So, you write everything you want to write, and then if you have time that day, great. If not, you probably won't. You probably will have like a total brain like fart by the end. You're going to be like, oh, I'm done. And that's okay. So take a break, take a couple days, and then go back and start grammar editing. And really, the editing is longer than the actual writing itself because it helps. And Sarah, music is funny. Music that I know and I want to sing along to, I don't do well with. But there's something called binaural beats. Is that how you say it? I can't even talk because I'm so like congested. But if you go on YouTube, this is what I play during my workday. And I was not a music listener. I feel like it distracts me a lot. But the only way I can do it is with binaural beats. And there's a couple things. You have to search focus one. Binaural beats. BINAURAL. And I will put it in the show notes for those of you that are listening to the podcast. But it's focus music. And I'm going to paste it in our group here because it will help. And I want you just to try it today. If you're working on something, it doesn't have to be writing, but whatever you're working on, I bet you're able to work faster because of it. And you want to put it on like where it's not super loud, but it's like just a music in the background. People will walk in my office when I have this on at work and go, how do you not fall asleep all day? And I don't because it really, I don't know, it stimulates your mind, I guess. So that's it, Savvy Scribes, on this episode of the Savvy Scribe podcast. I hope you learned to write faster. If there's anything I'm missing, let me know, and we'll talk soon. Now go get that right on. All right, there's another episode down. Woo woo. Yeah, those binaural beats, though, they're pretty good. I use them too. There's also, if you search binaural beats, no headphones nap. Do any of you guys nap? I know, like, I'm a napper. I love to take naps. Especially today, I'm going to take a nap. Hopefully. But put a 20-minute nap. I don't know if you've ever done a 20-minute nap. Again, I used to think people were crazy when they would say this stuff, but I took a 20-minute nap one time. I was like, I'm doing this every day of my life that I possibly can. It's the best. All right, Michelle. Last but not least here, we're doing our office organization. And then it's time for more medicine, I think. I really think staying around with me today is so fun. I usually am so alone. Okay, new audio file. Here we go. Need my recording. Whoops. Okay. Here we go. Let me get another sip of coffee. Welcome, Savvy Scribes, to another episode of the Savvy Scribe podcast. I'm Janine Kalbach, your host, and today we are talking all about office organization requested by Michelle Wood in our group. Welcome again, you guys. Today I'm really going to dive into how to just get all that clutter out of the way, how to know what to get rid of, and really just make your office space really workable and engaging, and really want you to not be afraid to go in your office and, overwhelmed by what's sitting on your desk. So, a couple of things you're going to need today. If you're going to take action after this episode, write down these couple things. You're going to need a garbage can, number one. Number two, you're going to need some file folders. Just those like manila file folders. And I'm doing this episode live in our group today. So I'm holding up just a look, mine says Jimmy on it. Just a little file folder. My son's obsessed with like writing all over my stuff, so whatever. It says Jimmy. And a label maker, if you have a label maker, I got mine on Black Friday for $10. If you don't have a label maker, guess what? You don't need one. You can just use like what I've done in the past, this sounds silly, is take a post-it note, that sticky part of the post-it note, just write your file on and just stick that sticky part to your file folder. Does that make sense? Um, and I think that's all you're really going to need. Maybe a couple pens or a marker, maybe. So, the first thing when it comes to office organization in your freelance writing business is purge. You're going to start with your garbage can. You're going to start with all those papers. What I want you to do is take your entire stack of papers that you have in your office and have two piles. You're going to have a keep and a recycle. And just go through all those papers. So that might take you, everybody's gonna be a little different. It might take you 5 minutes, might take you 30, depending on how much paper you have in your office. Don't feel like you need to keep everything. Let's be honest, we're in an internet world. You can probably find it later if you need to. So obviously things you're gonna have to keep are like contracts and, writing assignments. But are you gonna have to keep old research for a writing assignment? Probably not. So get it out of the way. Put it in that recycle file. The other thing to do is we're looking at your papers, but I also want you to look at your drawers in your office. Open up your drawers and take everything out of there, and the same thing, toss and keep. You don't even need to like organize it or anything at this point. Just get rid of it. So then, purge is done. We purged it all. Get rid of everything. The next thing you're going to do is have a purpose for everything. So you're going to start filing papers and putting everything back in a place. So that's where your label maker is going to come in handy. Again, you don't need one. You could just label things yourself just to get things organized. The other thing you should add to your list is maybe somewhere to put your files. So whether you need like a file box or a binder or like I have a thing on top of my desk that holds some folders, whatever can organize those folders for you. So maybe a little file organizer. So when you go back into those paper piles, start making some folders for what they can encompass. So for example, you could have a folder called Clients 2020. And inside that big folder, you're going to have little folders. And those little folders are going to have contracts, the projects, whatever you are doing for that client. So big folder for the clients, and then inside each substitute client, and then all the stuff that goes inside those folders for that client. The other folder you might want is your checks, your paper checks. Those are things I keep, so you don't have to keep them, but usually when I deposit them, I just throw them aside and put them in a paper clipped folder. And then go down your years. So if you've been doing this for a little while, it's time to go back on those years. Look at 2019, 2018, 2017, and do those same type of folders for all of those years. The other thing that helps you do is if you have a client folder from 2019, from 2018, is if you're in a famine, a freelance famine, we talked about it in past episode, you can look at those past client folders and pitch those clients again. You might have forgotten that you wrote for so and so magazine, and you've had so many clients since then, but those people really liked your work. Granted, they haven't reached out to you again, but that doesn't mean they didn't like you, or they probably just forgot about you. So you can pitch to them again. If you are at a loss for clients, you can start looking back on your archives and see who you've written for in the past. The other thing, obviously, you're going to want to keep are past taxes. I have a folder for every year of taxes, so it says 2019 taxes is right up on my desk right now because we haven't filed yet. We're waiting on a couple things, so I'll just keep those up there until we file them, and then they'll go back into the filing box that I have. So again, same with past years, make sure you have taxes. The other folders I have are resources or downloadables related to personal and business. So business stuff stays in this office. I do have personal stuff out in a filing cabinet for my house, but there are things that I like to download and print off. So I have a resource folder in here for things that I've downloaded off people's email lists and stuff like that. So it just depends on what that category falls into. Sometimes it's just writing information, sometimes it's coaching information, course information, business growing, stuff like that. So it's a nice place to just your downloadables. Other things I've seen people do is not so much file those in a folder like in their office, but put them in a binder and tab it. So you could do that as well if you like to download things, because so many people have so many free things on the internet these days. Why not? The other thing is a to-do folder or a to file, and that keeps the clutter out of your office. So on I have this actually in my office at work. I have a to file folder for my employee files, but I also have one on my desk at home that says to files. So again, if that's something I don't have time to do at that time. I also have file folders for Savvy Scribe episodes and guests that are coming onto the show. I also have a course folder for when I am doing stuff for my course or ideas for later course things to add into my course. So again, whatever falls into your writing business. If you are just doing some content writing, what you do really is have your client contracts and your contract folders, or your client folders. And then a to-do list. I have just a to-do list that's like always on my desk, not to overwhelm me, but so that I can always add to it. So that's the other thing I have is a to-do list. The next part is, so we've purged, we've purposed, and now we're going to polish. So it's time to clean off your desk. Invest in some desk organizers if you want. Don't go overboard. The more you have clutter in your desk, the more clutter mind you're going to have. So on my desk, I have a little plant. I'll show you guys that are live in the group right now. I have a little plant. It just brings in some color, I guess. I also have two of those like stackable file things that have, the bottom one has some journals that I keep, and the top one has just some extra office supplies. And then the other side, I have another file thing that has, what's it say, 2019 taxes and course launch. So I have two folders up there that I'm adding to, and then I have just a pencil thing. So thing to hold pencils, and I have my diffuser. That's it. That's all I have on my desk. So, and I have a pretty big desk. So if you don't have a big space, don't put more and more stuff on top of it. Use a shelf behind you or above you so that it's out of your way. Then, spray down your desk, clean it off, make it, sanitary, because God knows how much dust has compiled since you've organized last. And then I want you to then take your organization, if you're in this mindset of organizing today, go on to your desktop computer, because this is another area that a lot of us don't go into. The best time I ever had organizing my laptop was when I was stuck on an airplane with no Wi-Fi. I had no other writing work to do, so I was like, you know what? I need to organize my desktop. And I went in and made folders. And I'll tell you what's on my desktop without, going off my desktop. I wrote this all down. My Savvy Scribe folder has podcast images, logos, and etc. I also have like different folders for podcast guests and whatnot. I have a big folder for WriteRN, which is my website, writern.net. So I have logos, the clients I work with and whatnot. I have a folder of personal taxes, so I have all my tax stuff on my computer and obviously on my desk here. I also have my personal photos, so I have my kids' photos and whatnot. An app I really recommend for everybody who has an iPhone, and if you just like pictures and you don't want to use all your space on your phone, is Google Photos. It's free and it backs up all your photos on your phone, so you have more space. I also use that for my home as well. And then downloadables. Again, I use that folder that I have, but I also keep stuff on my computer as well if I haven't printed it off yet. If I do print it off, there it goes. It's leaving my desktop. So think about organizing your desktop, you guys, because there's a lot of stuff you've downloaded, let me tell you. Um, I hope that helps you guys. And if you have any tips, please let me know. And if not, go get your right on. We'll talk soon. All right, that's it. That's all I got you guys today. Did that help, Michelle? Do you feel like you could organize yourself a little bit better? All right, well, thanks for being in tune with me today. I'm going to end this live video now. I'll get some more motion and probably some congestion stuff and answer this text. But have a great day, you guys. Thanks for sticking around today. If you have more ideas for podcast episodes, I do have another episode on here. Self care when you don't have time. Aw, maybe I'll do that one too later. um, you're welcome. Let me know if you guys have more ideas. I'd love to go what you guys need, and I hope it was helpful. Um, we'll talk soon, and I hope you got to listen to the LinkedIn Optimize Your Profile as well. That's live on our group now. It should work. Let me know if you have issues. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. I will get some rest. It's nap time after my coffee. That's another thing. Coffee naps. You're not one of those? Google it. I'll talk to you guys soon.